wonder if our listeners are mad at us. We were just talking about how when we're not consistent, listenership drops off. Oh, by the way, Critique-Opolis is back. Hi, it's Jay.
I know you missed us a lot. We're
Well,
back.
I think they did because I think I told you I watched a number of videos on how to grow your listener base, and there was a number of them that were just like, you have to invest in ads and go on other podcasts. I'm like, I don't have a goddamn time for that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't, and
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found three separate authors who were like, if you're not into ads or any of that stuff, the most important thing with any medium is just being consistent. Just continue to podcast.
Yeah.
And we look at our metrics just because it's fun, and
It's true.
it's so true. Like, we don't have a giant listener base or anything, but
No.
when when are we the most consistent in the summer, would you say? Because there was a big stretch there, because at the very beginning we were wildly inconsistent, and then
We figured it out.
I think this was right along the time that I heard, when I heard this, I was on a day trip. This is when I heard this, I listened to this video, I was on a trip for a show,
Mm-hmm.
I think last year.
Okay.
And when I got back, I remember we had a conversation.
Yeah.
I was just like, we got to at least do one a week.
Mm-hmm.
And when we don't, it just falls off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 months ago, I was at the Indianapolis Flower and Home Show,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't talk for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you had something going on, or it was at least 2 weeks. And then when I got back, we did a couple. It picked back up again, and then I had to go back there for the flower and patio.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to Chicago, so it's been 2 weeks since we've recorded anything.
At least 2 weeks. It might have been longer than that.
Yeah, because mine was 10 days. And actually, it was probably 3 weeks, because you weren't feeling well the week that we were going to record.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had my week and a half show. I saw you one day when we got back, and then you went to Chicago for a week. So
I know. You guys are so excited hearing our schedule.
It's such a long-winded. Everyone's like, we don't give a shit. What movie did you watch?
Well, we're just saying we're usually really consistent, and we weren't because
Don't be mad at
life.
us. Life happens. You know what's amazing is Mark Normand,
Yeah.
our one of our favorite comedians. He's a self-admitted big drunkard, and he can still bang one out every week.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that.
Well, they stack them, like we're gonna do. We're gonna do the next 3 today, and unload it over April. But yeah, we're just gonna have to do multiple. So anyway, this was. I don't know whose pick this was. I found it, and I sent it to you. I think this is how it went down. I sent it to you. Oh, I don't have a recipe today. Big surprise. Maybe I'll have one tomorrow for the next one. But I sent it to you. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. And you said, this is a movie I want to watch.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right, so the onus of this one is going to be on you. This is Snow Bear.
It is Snow Bear.
This was an award-winning hand-drawn short by Aaron Blaise, who is a veteran of Disney.
Mm-hmm. Disney animator.
And it took him 11,000 drawings. And what's particularly amazing about this, you are going to chime in here.
Yeah. Okay.
11,000 drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I want you to keep a mental note of how many times I say because for all of those of you listening, I joined Toastmasters because I'm going to kind of augment my career further by giving speeches about independent business startups. And one of the things I have to work on is using filler words. I say entirely too much when I'm giving my table topics talks, and I know I do it on the podcast. I applaud you for powering through and accepting that flaw, but you got to stay on me. You got to like buzz me or something, be like that.
Okay.
Every time I do that.
I will try.
Okay. Aaron produced this, what makes this movie particularly bananas in how he built it. He comes from the Disney ecosystem, but he created it on his own.
Yeah, hand-drawn animation.
11,000 drawings. And the genesis of this was really... I've had my heart broken before, and I know how emotionally that wrecks you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you focus on all these questions and situations that you can't do anything about as far as correcting. Like, I'd like to have this person back.
Yeah, you can't go back to the past kind of a thing.
Yeah, and well, with Aaron, he didn't have a breakup. His wife died. And I believe that he was kind of juggling like a professional burnout. I don't know if he left Disney at this point, but he took this on his own as a tool to help him heal and process grief, which is, I just find that amazing that he's going through the loss of his partner in life, and he decides to make this piece of art and media that serves all these functions. It helps him heal, but it also addresses a climate shifting issue.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to pick it up a little bit here with... There was no sound, or excuse me, there was no words in this.
No voice, no spoken dialogue.
The only real characters were
the male bear
and the music.
And the snow bear was kind of a character.
So, in short, it was 11,000 frames, and it was, what, like 12 minutes or 11 minutes or something?
Yeah, something like that, 11 minutes.
So...
The music is very powerful. Did you say that the music was a character already?
Yeah. In fact, the media that we made and the little AI podcast that we create and listen to before we do a movie made a point of pointing out that, well, first they didn't even go, they went to Aaron's home studio, which was pretty tiny. What was the name of it? Red?
Well, I didn't catch the name of it.
Red's like Red Horse Studio or something. But
at his house?
Yeah, at his house. And it wasn't very big, and they crammed 20-some musicians, woodwinds, and horn players.
I remember reading this.
Into the studio, and the wiring and some of the musicians spilled out into the kitchen.
Oh.
And typically that would be a real nightmare for acoustics because you have tile, you have flat surfaces.
The kitchen would be really open.
Metallic surfaces, and they'd be reflective. But somehow this forced intimacy made a coherent sound.
I read a lot about the music, but I didn't read that.
That was in the podcast. Did you miss that?
Apparently so. Yeah. Wow.
You must have been reading.
Yeah, probably.
So, well, why don't you tell them a little bit about the actual story?
Okay.
Do you remember? You do remember this, right? I know it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if I remember correctly, we meet a lonely bear. Wishing for and searching for a companion.
Yeah, he's just kind of in the
middle of
the frozen wasteland.
There you go, in the middle of the frozen wasteland, and then I think he sees like a mound. Sorry, did I go too fast?
No, that was right. That was right.
I think he sees a mound of snow. Sorry, a pile of snow, and he's like, "Wait, is that a pile of snow or is that a real snow? Is that a real another friend?" And he goes over and it's a pile of snow, and then he gets an idea. Does he build the snow bear?
Well, he gets close and it changes into. He sees that it's just a pile of snow,
and he looks
but
at
he understands.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, this! I thought it was another polar bear, but it's just a pile of snow."
And so then, in his imagination, I would say, he creates this friend.
He creates a little snowman bear
in a pile of snow, and they do all kinds of fun things together.
Yeah, he pushes it down a hill, makes it go sledding, and wherever he goes, he just rebuilds the bear.
Yeah, and they have fun together, and it's all in his imagination for I don't know, a little while, and then, well, should I say that at the end of the movie?
Well, it's a short. It's I feel like this is sort of a movie that that he builds this bear because he wants a companion. And in a short, especially, I think for the adults, we're not ruining anything. We're not. I don't think we have a lot of kids who are listening to this.
No.
But ultimately, he finds another bear companion. Yeah. But he needed
a real bear.
And he needs this snow bear as a bridge to get there.
Yeah, it's I think we probably mentioned it already, but it's a very emotional short film. And then we do some more research on it, and to me it gets even more emotional because definitely watching it, I mean, I'm an emotional person anyway, but it's always amazing to me in short movies, live, animated, what have you, how much emotion can come from a short movie. You watch a feature-length film and you see all kinds of things happening and you go from happy highs to sad lows. But even in a short movie like this was very emotional.
Compressed.
It was compressed. There you go. So I was going to say, too, more related to the podcast.
You really only had to focus on the fact that there's one character.
Yeah.
There's no talk. All the extraneous things in the movie are removed. And
it was very focused on
it's just this
that one
character.
Right.
And music. The music took the place of verbiage.
Yeah.
And the bears, the actual, not the snow bear, but the actual polar bear, you have a veteran animator who spends his considerable talent on facial expressions of this bear.
Mm-hmm.
So all the emotions that you need to go through are carried through by his expression. You can tell when he's disappointed and hopeful, and all through the combination of music and what's happening on his face.
Yeah, and I think, what I really liked about this movie was, the layers of emotion. Like we said in the beginning, this bear is lonely, he's all by himself. In the middle, he creates a snow, friend, a snow bear friend. And, they have a lot of fun together, and they do all these different things, like I said before. And then he finds another real snow bear.
Another real polar bear.
Another real polar bear friend, and it's just we're all happy again.
I think part of this movie was I didn't fully understand if Blaise made this to support the climate shift argument and to drive awareness towards climate change, but can you look up there, look through the sources and see what was the organization that got involved with it? He ended up building a game or a card game to go with this movie because towards the end of the film, the snow bear starts to melt away because the heat, it becomes warmer in his environment and the snow is melting away, so it almost becomes urgent for him to find a companion. And it's not really urgency in the film, but you feel it, and that like this, not only can he not find a mate, but the one he has created, the environment is taking that one away.
In the broader sense of things.
Yeah.
I mean, a kid's not going to pick up on that, for example.
No, but adults will.
Yeah. I think the organization that you're looking for is Polar Bears International.
Oh.
Yeah?
PBI?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the sale from this card game or this board game or whatever that went with the movie, what did they say, like $60,000 he raised from this?
It was a lot of money. That sounds right, yeah.
It was under $100,000, but the bulk of the money was sent to PBI to help with conservation efforts and part of the AI podcast that we listened to that talked about this detailed the issues that polar bears are having with their specialized hunters, in that they use sea ice to hunt seals.
Yep.
And this is what I always find funny with, I'm not taking a dig at anybody in particular, but people who don't value education and spending time in school, and they don't really appreciate or understand how ecosystems are interconnected, and how when the environment from one organism suffers, it has cascading effects down the chain. So these bears, they need the sea ice is like their market. They can't expend the calories needed to chase a seal, especially underwater. Seals are better swimmers. But they can sit on the ice and wait for the seals to surface and then feed.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
But when the sea ice is melting, their platform,
there's nowhere for them.
They can't sit on the land and wait because the seal can pop up,
anytime.
40, 100 feet out, take a breath, and then go down and feed on fish. They don't have to. The bear is camouflaged when it's on the ice, and when there's no ice and the snow is receding, its coat it's the opposite of camouflage. It stands out. Anyone can look around the landscape and be like, that's a freaking polar bear right there. That's the white thing moving around.
Yep.
So they're not. So seals can, their populations would flourish, but the bears would deteriorate, and they need one another. In that, the population's going to go bananas of seals if there's not something to keep them in check. That's going to impact fish population.
Yep.
Which ultimately impacts us.
Yeah, and obviously everybody knows, but how big polar bears are and how much, you think about how much they must eat and how much they need to eat, and that's what you're talking about regarding climate change and how all these different ecosystems and things are affected, because if they don't have any food, then they're going into human cities. Yeah, thank you. What do you say? Sorry.
Human settlements.
Yeah.
They're very far north. I don't know if I call them cities, but
no, yeah, you're right.
Encampments or settlements or
yeah. But We don't
No
want
one
polar
wants-
bears mixing with people.
We don't.
They're supposed to be in their space. We're supposed to be in our space.
This AI podcast we listened to said, I don't recall the year this was, but there was a sharp reduction in sea ice a few years ago, and it ended up that the bears had to deal with the equivalent of, what was it, 190 days without feeding,
Yeah, it was close to
and
that number.
like nearly a year,
I can't imagine.
like 2/3 of around, what is that? Like a little over half a year.
Yeah,
with
a
no
lot.
food.
Yeah.
And they are just sustaining themselves with stored lipids, stored fats.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen? In fact, you probably showed me this: the photos of bears that have not eaten and how sickly they look. Their
No.
color changes, and that wasn't you.
No, that's so awful.
I've seen pictures of them before. They look odd.
Oh.
Their color is they're not white anymore, and then they're really skinny. And like those things are supposed to be massive, and they don't look like that when they haven't eaten. It's bad. You don't want to see anything starving. Is
Ugh, little
horrendous.
polar bear. A big fat polar bear.
For those of you who don't know, Louisa has a soft spot for nature's most efficient killer.
I do. I love polar bears. I really, really love polar
And I
bears. I
think-
always have.
And this is the thing that, like,
Which is why I was like, yeah, let's watch this movie.
of course, but
And it was animated.
they are, outside of how Disney presents them, they are
Quite vicious.
absolutely an apex predator, and they'll devour anything that's moving
I
violently
know.
with pain
But they're so cute.
in pictures until they sniff you.
Yes,
Any-
well, I've never gotten that close, so.
Make it a point. So,
So beautiful short film. You should watch it. You can watch it on YouTube.
I was going to read a little
You'll
bit
enjoy
here
it. Oh,
from
okay.
Beyond its artistic merits, the project champions wildlife conservation through
Mm-hmm.
partnerships with organizations like PBI, which uses the film to highlight the fragility of Arctic ecosystems, having earned numerous accolades. And the Oscar shortlist mention, that's something that we forgot to point out for any of those of you out there that like Oscar shorts and you haven't heard of this. I would find that a little unusual, but
Well, it wasn't on the actual list.
oh, wasn't?
No, it was shortlisted, so I think that means that it was
Oh,
like
that you're
maybe
right.
in the running, but
You're
not one
right.
of like the 5 selected.
Even more so than if it wasn't something that was on the Oscar list.
Because nobody told me about it.
You didn't know about this?
Nope.
Oh, I thought I would have, when I sent this to you, I think this was my thought process at the time. I'm sure she's heard of this.
I never have.
And then you were like, oh, I heard of this. Amazing. Oh.
It's not really an exaggeration. It's
No,
just
it
funny.
isn't. Film is now accessible on YouTube. Specialized digital editions body of work underscores Blaise's enduring influence in traditional animation and his commitment to environmental advocacy. I want to see if there's any of the AI-generated questions that we haven't.
Yeah, they're really good.
Let's see.
I clicked on some of them.
This is interesting. What makes the music-driven dialogue... What makes the music-driven, dialogue-free storytelling in Snow Bear unique? Trying to do this on a phone is a bit of a challenge for me.
You want me to read it?
No, here it comes.
Great.
Music-driven dialogue storytelling in Snow Bear is unique because the musical score serves as the character's primary voice. What did I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Recording process was unconventional and intimate. The absence of words forced a reliance on anatomical storytelling and transcends language barriers. Music is the primary voice. No spoken dialogue. The original score by Disney veterans, for those of you who are Disney nuts, Mark Mancina and Marlon E. Espino take the role of narrator and the character's internal monologue. There's a bit in here somewhere about, I love, you know what? I didn't even read this, and I was spot on. Versatility of theme. The film uses a simple, beautiful little theme that was designed to work across the full emotional spectrum. That we strip away all the additional stuff. You just have one character and one issue that character's dealing with, and no extraneous conversation. You just have music to convey emotion.
And it really, I think, helped the viewer focus. Sorry, sidebar.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
That's kind of all. I mean, I just think that, like you pointed out, like the one of this and the one of that, it just really helped you focus. There wasn't no other outside stuff that you were like, oh, let me think about that. You were only watching this character and the music and hearing music. I think music is so powerful in movies anyway.
We had another experience with music driving the story yesterday. We'll get to that in a few more episodes. Guiding the audience. Blaise intended for the music to be the element that fully immerses viewers in the Arctic world, conveying complex feelings like hope and triumph without a single word. That's what I love about a well-crafted story and talented musician. Well, more so than the musicians, but the score, the composer. Mm-hmm. Who can blend the story and the visuals with an actual sound. Mm-hmm. That's a real
talent.
I don't even feel like talent's a great word for it, because this is the thing with speaking. You don't want to have a lot of dead air, but the best word I can conceive for it would be ability.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's almost like you see these two blend together, and the only way I could understand it is if I heard the music when I looked at something. I heard it in my head. Mm-hmm. So, because you've heard artists say before that when someone asks them about their process or how they construct something, they're like, I don't do that. It just appears to me. Mm-hmm. And then I paint it, or I write it, or whatever. And I think people who are a little more, which ones are the analytical types, left or right brained? Whichever those are, when they talk to an artist, they don't get it because they need to see like a path of construction.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And artists, I would say more often than not, are like, I see this thing. It's just there.
Right. Yeah, that is a cool ability.
Oh, here's the bit I was telling you about, woodwinds in the kitchen. To accommodate approximately 24 musicians in a small space, the woodwind players were literally positioned in the kitchen, connected to the control room by cables.
That's crazy.
Musician investment. The session musicians were moved to tears while watching the footage, and Aaron Blaise felt resulted in a performance that was more emotionally invested than typical studio session work. Visual nuance and universal storytelling. Blaise utilized his mastery of traditional 2D animation to communicate the story through pure movement and expression. Anatomical detail. The nuance of the story lies in the subtle physical cues, how the bear shifts his weight, turns a shoulder, pauses, or hesitates. And again, no language barriers. Blaise specifically chose this format so the film's message would not be hindered by language barriers, which is great about this because you can show this anywhere. It doesn't only fit in a U.S. market or an English-speaking market. You can show it to in any nation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you can telegraph the emotion across cultures.
Mm-hmm.
That's real talent. I think something like that is really understated. I would feel normally like I think about some of the, the type of people I interact with at some of the shows that I do, and I'm not pointing any particular fingers, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And I think some folks would look at this and be like, "This is just a silly cartoon." I'm like, "You are missing so much of this."
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot with cartoons, be them long, short, feature films, what have you. But I think some people just blow it off because, like, it's an animated film, it's a kid film, it's made for, and there's so much more than just watching it as a kid and being entertained for an hour and a half. Again, another tangent, but Mom used to say that all the time. Because every year we would go to the movie theater. That was a big thing.
She would say that cartoons aren't just for kids, or what?
Well, like, every year we would go and see the new Disney movie, and we would all enjoy it. Kids, adults. And I think... sorry, I lost my... She enjoyed it because there were adult jokes in them, she would always say, that would just go right over our heads. But then as an adult watching them, I'm like, oh, I see why she could also enjoy this.
I think I told you, and this might be a conversation for another day, but one of my favorite movies as a kid was The Secret of Nim.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably even talked about it on the podcast, but it's it is a dark movie.
Very,
And I remember having these very strong... I saw it so many times. I've probably seen that movie 25 times.
Wow.
And it has a lot of adult themes and adult messages in it.
Yep.
And it made me very emotional. I remember getting, like, sad, like, what's going to happen to this mouse after the movie's over?
Yeah,
And
right.
My dad had to be like, maybe you shouldn't watch this anymore. And I think it always kind of bothered him that if I ever watched a movie that had sentimental elements to it, he didn't like it.
Yeah.
I remember he would do this all the time. Like, if there was ever a tender moment in the movie, something that I wanted to see, he'd be like, Jay, I'm like, I don't understand why this bothers you so much. You have an issue with emotion that you're not explaining very well. You're just voicing some kind of disapproval, and I have to figure out what that is. But if I were to look back now on it, it was tough because there were adult themes that I was trying to grapple with, and I didn't have the emotional maturity yet to stomach it. So the score for that movie was also very... It was just moving. It was Don Bluth, and he also came from Disney, and much like this guy's story, left Disney, took a few animators and built his own thing.
Wow, yeah.
And wonderful movie. I remember I saw it when it came out. That was 1983. I saw it in the theater, in the Elk Rapids Theater, and I was just moved by it. So I tease you a little bit about your thing with Disney animation, but at the core of that teasing, like, I totally understand it. That's a piece of my dad that, like, got embedded in me with that. Like, I kind of shun now the younger kid stuff, even though, like, it was very much a part of my...
Well, I remember always crying, even as a young kid at a Disney movie. I mean, they were always, again, like I said earlier, so emotional. Such happy highs, such sad lows. And, like, even as a kid, you can feel that.
You can feel it, and you want to reconcile all the issues that are happening. You want to get to even again. You want to get to, like, a solution. You want to get to where everything is okay.
Yeah.
And you feel like that should exist in a cartoon product for young people.
Yeah, and something that you're watching that's not part of your life.
Yeah, like a lot of cartoons they do very well with comedy and with humor.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you see them, Bluth was great about this. Just like he would show death
Mm-hmm.
but with animals and with like fluffy characters,
Mm-hmm.
and you would like this is. I think also, growing up, like I saw that movie right when we were starting to understand my mother's alcoholism,
Okay.
and I would hear teachers or other parents say, she could get drunk one day and drive into a pole and hurt you or kill you or your herself. And so the idea of loss was
Always there.
It was put front and center very young.
Mm-hmm.
And these movies really kind of supported that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what, though? It's kind of cathartic talking about it now.
That was an
Yeah, I know. Wanted to see if you caught that.
You didn't say any up until then.
Oh, that's good. They were... I gotta tell you, even... I've watched clips of The Secret of NIMH since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have the same reaction, but I can still feel kind of a pull.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched maybe 7 years ago. I watched a big piece of it.
Okay.
And I got a little,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to turn it off. I'm like, I can't watch it anymore. I can't do it. But it's astounding, like the level of connection that combination of media can have with you. Very adult themes, a strong musical base that carries the story or supports the emotions in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And Don Bluth, along with, you can see all the trace characteristics that are, it's a different animation, but you can see components of it that fit together between both movies.
Yeah.
Like I think you've seen both, right?
I would think so, yeah.
You look at them, and even though they had their own careers and their own little studios, you're like, these were Disney guys for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can definitely see that.
But wonderful movie. It'll only take you not even 15 minutes.
And you don't need to set aside a chunk of your day.
Yeah.
You can watch it before you go to bed if that time works for you.
Worthwhile. And
Definitely.
that's tough for me to say about animation. But I saw this and I'm like, oh, this is just perfect for you. I'm going to have to watch it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll probably be tender. There'll probably be tears and stuff. Gross.
Yep, well.
That happens.
You know that. So,
yeah, I don't have a recipe right now, but maybe next time we'll see.
Okay.
So what do we have? What's next week?
Next week we have, so then I got on a short
You found
animated
this one
film
too.
kick.
Yeah, you did.
And there were a whole bunch, and you can, again, watch them for free on YouTube, but we watched Run, Toady, Run, which is...
Afghani?
Cambodian. Or, wait, what do you mean?
Where it was made.
Oh, yeah, it's set in Cambodia.
All right, well, more on that later. So we're sorry we were gone for a while. We're trying to do better. Don't dump our feed just because
I don't think they will.
I hope not.
Also, we said life happens. We were busy.
You know how I am about consistency. I can't help it. Hugs and kisses. We'll talk to you in a week. Be good.
Thanks for listening.